Well, U.S. President Barack Obama has hailed the full implementation of an international nuclear accord with Iran and the release of Americans held prisoner in the Republic as a vindication of a strong American diplomacy. He also talked about sanctions on Iran's ballistic test on Sunday. Jessica Stone reports from Washington.
3 Americans are on their way home after a prisoner swap with Iran. In total, there will be 5 American prisoners swapped for 7 Iranians held in the U.S. for sanctions violations. The charges against them will be dropped. Now, the American prisoners first landing in Geneva, Switzerland, before flying to a U.S. military base in Germany for medical evaluation. One of them, Washington Post reporter Jason Rezaian, he had his wife and mother come to greet him in Iran, so they were also on the plane. Meantime, the American president is expressing pride in the results of 2 years of intense diplomacy.
Whereas Iran was steadily expanding its nuclear program, we have now cut off every single path that Iran could have used to build a bomb. Whereas it would have taken Iran 2 to 3 months to break out with enough material to rush to a bomb, we've now extended that breakout time to a year. And with the world's unprecedented inspections and access to Iran's program, we'll know if Iran ever tries to break out.
In the wake of the lifting of all international nuclear-related Iran sanctions, we're hearing about new sanctions being levied by the United States against Iran for last year's ballistic missile test. That test violated a UN Security Council resolution. And you may remember the U.S. initially planned to roll out those new sanctions last year, then pulled back after Iran's foreign minister said new sanctions could have derailed the prisoner swap talks. Well, the Americans waited to levy these sanctions until the prisoners were safely out of Iran.
And for its ballistic missile program, and we will continue to enforce these sanctions vigorously. Iran's recent missile test, for example, was a violation of its international obligations. And as a result, the United States is imposing sanctions on individuals and companies working to advance Iran's ballistic missile program, and we are going to remain vigilant about it.
Here is what we know about them. They are against 3 entities and 8 individuals involved in procuring elements for Iran's ballistic missile program. And the sanction notice actually mentions a company based in the UAE, which also has an affiliate in Hong Kong. These new sanctions for Iran's ballistic missile test do join a range of other ballistic-related sanctions levied by the United States. At this point, it's unclear whether the UN Security Council will follow with more of its own. Jessica Stone, CCTV, Washington.